White flag raised. That off. 6 runners over 2.5 miles. They graded Tote Navan Novice Hurdle. In the lead is Fleur In The Park, racing to the first flight, followed by the Elliott Clay. Will the Wise on the inside as they meet up with their first flight. Fleur In The Park, followed by the Elliott Clay. Will the Wise alongside his Pattern Merchant. My Great Mate, the grey horse on the outside of Mozzie's Sister. Significant run to flight number 2. Fleur In The Park by 2 lengths to the Elliott Clay. Disputing third, Will the Wise and Pattern Merchant as they're waved around this omitted flight. Fleur In The Park by a couple of lengths to the Elliott Clay, followed by Will the Wise and Pattern Merchant, Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate. Turning into the straight to flights 2 and 3 as they enter their final couple of miles. It is Fleur In The Park and Keen Quirk, tracked in by the Elliott Clay and Sam Ewing. Just third is Pattern Merchant, Danny Gilligan from Will the Wise and Keith Donoghue, My Great Mate, Paul Townend on the outside of Mozzie's Sister and Shane Fitzgerald. This is their second flight coming up. 1 of 2 in the home straight. Fleur In The Park popped it in a lead of 2 lengths over the Elliott Clay, then Pattern Merchant. The Elliott Clay stable companion, then Will the Wise, Mozzie's Sister, My Great Mate. Very few changes. Continuing on to flight number 3, the Tote Navan Novice Hurdle. Fleur In The Park, followed by the Elliott Clay, dominated the Monksfield here last time in a commanding way. And then Pattern Merchant, in by the rail is Will the Wise. Mozzie's Sister last but 1 and trailing the field is My Great Mate. A little more spaced out. Fleur In The Park extends the lead at 3 lengths, rising towards the winning post. From the Elliott Clay, Pattern Merchant third. 4th is Will the Wise, and 5th is Mozzie's Sister. 6th of the 6 is My Great Mate. Making the bend past the stands to flight number 4, which is just outside the halfway stage. They tighten up once again. Fleur In The Park by 2 lengths to the Elliott Clay, Pattern Merchant, Will the Wise, Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate. Flight number 4 along the side of the track, approximately at the halfway stage. Fleur In The Park as if yet to be headed, makes the bend towards the back straight, leading the Elliott Clay by a couple of lengths, then Will the Wise to the inside of Pattern Merchant, Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate, the final couple. Down the far side they go. They're about to enter their final 9 furlongs, approaching the first of 3 down the far side. 5 left to jump. It's Fleur In The Park into the next from the Elliott Clay. Will the Wise has just wrestled back the third from Pattern Merchant, then Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate. Approaching the flight at the completion of a circuit. Fleur In The Park by a length and a half to the Elliott Clay. Little between Will the Wise and Pattern Merchant for that third spot. Mozzie's Sister, slight mistake, and trading the field is the grey My Great Mate. Down they go towards the last of 3 in the back straight. This flight will be 3 from the finish. It's Fleur In The Park, still up top from the Elliott Clay, second from Flagfall, and then Will the Wise. Pattern Merchant is 2 behind Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate as they complete their jumping in the back straight, coming up to the concluding 6 furlongs. With 2 more flights left to jump the Tote Navan Novice Hurdle. Fleur In The Park from the Elliott Clay. Will the Wise on the inside of Pattern Merchant, then Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate. Coming up to the final 5 furlongs with 2 flights left to jump. It's Fleur In The Park, stalked by the Elliott Clay, then Pattern Merchant, Will the Wise, Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate. 6 lengths covering them, they're homeward bound. 4 furlongs to go and 2 flights to jump. Fleur In The Park with a reduced advantage over the Elliott Clay, who's looking poised. And on the outside, Pattern Merchant and Will the Wise, Mozzie's Sister and My Great Mate in line for the final 2 flights. Fleur In The Park and the Elliott Clay as they rise. followed by Patter Merchant, who chases them 2 lengths down third. Then Mozzie's Sister beginning a run in the middle of the track. Getting reminders as Will the Wise. And coming way out on the course is My Great Mate. 1 flight left. It is Fleur In The Park from the yellow clay, who's now been got after to close on the long-time leader. Then Mozzie's Sister as they come towards the final flight. And it's Fleur In The Park still holding the aces. Over the last goes Fleur In The Park from the yellow clay. Up the hill they come, 200 yards to go. Fleur In The Park from the yellow clay, who's trying desperately hard on the outside, is running out of time. Fleur In The Park, the yellow clay, the near side, the yellow clay has lined it at the finish of the Tote Navan Novice Hurdle. It is the yellow clay in a sweat from Fleur In The Park and Mozzie's Sister.
Sam Ewing's won the Navan Novice Hurdle on the yellow clay. Sam, it got a bit hairy late on. Did you always think you were going to get there, though?
I did, to be honest. And look, I really should have challenged the second horse sooner. But look, he's a good horse, and as soon as you ask him, you know, he goes and he tries hard. So he's a nice one, yeah.
He's obviously built up from maiden hurdle to grade 3, grade 2 today. Do you think grade 1 now is going to be the next logical step? Yeah,
look, I'm sure Gordon and all and things will have a plan for him, but I'd say he's that calibre of horse anyway, and it's onwards and upwards for him. Nice mare in the first as well. I know obviously the favourite tipping up made life a bit easier, but do you think she'll win plenty more? Yeah, look, a lot to like about her. I was left in front of my own a long way out, and she seemed very honest and galloped the line, so happy with her too, yeah. A good chances left to come, Sam. I suppose the one probably you'd be sweetest on might be Safareur, would that be fair? Yeah, competitive handicap. Made a nice seasonal return run here. And you know, he's good runs last season over fences. Looking forward to him. Wish you well there. Thanks. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, lad. Well done, Sam. Thanks, Sammy.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.